So today we're going to talk about the best ways that you can improve the output from Teacher's Buddy. When you first play with the system, you'll often just put in a simple topic and be disappointed with the text that it outputs. And there's a really good reason for this. You need to be quite specific when you're telling Teacher's Buddy what you're after. Let's have a look at a tutorial session to see what I mean. Now, if I'm quite generic, I could type in here that I want to do a tutorial on genetics. Well, that's all good and well, but what I'll end up with is a very generic tutorial session. It won't cover anything in any kind of detail. Even with just the topic of genetics though, we've ended up with quite a good tutorial. If we want to be more specific or we need a more detailed tutorial, the best thing we can do is improve the topic slightly. So instead of having genetics, let's type in genetics for inheritance patterns. And as you can see, now we have a tutorial that's very specific on inheritance patterns. Just by improving our topic, we've ended up with a much better tutorial session. But now I'm going to tell you something really important. One of the things that we've built into Teacher's Buddy is a factor for randomness or creativity. This randomness doesn't affect the reliability of the data, but it does change the way that the output is generated. So this means sometimes you'll get long, comprehensive answers, and other times you'll get short summaries. So even though we've got the same topic, I can click the Generate button again, and I'll get a completely different set of output. And you can do this as many times as you like. You can copy the best bits from the various outputs to build up a lesson plan or a tutorial that exactly matches your requirements. And finally, before we leave this particular video, the last thing I want to talk about is this field on the screen called Extra Context. A lot of the screens will have this particular field, and the idea of this field is that you can provide the AI with extra information. And you can either do this by copying the text from a unit standard, typing in some notes, or simply putting in a list of bullet points. In the case of a tutorial or a lab session or a lesson plan, you can type in a list of subtopics that you need the AI to cover as part of the lesson. For example, I've typed in that I want to make sure that this particular tutorial session covers the Mendel's pea experiment, and I also want to relate it to brewing. Whatever you put in this field is used as additional knowledge or instructions for the AI. If you struggle to come up with ideas for this particular box, there's a really cool option built into Teacher's Buddy that will really make it easy to flesh out your lesson plans and tutorials. We'll go to the Inspiration tab, and there's an option here called Subtopics. And you can use this quite a lot to improve the output from the system. If we simply put in our topic, which is genetics inheritance patterns, and click on the Generate button, the AI will come up with a whole heap of things that you could consider. These are normally a list of subtopics or related things to the topic you're trying to teach. You can go through this list and include it as an extra context when you're preparing your lesson plan or your tutorial or lab sessions. So the takeaway from this video is that you should try and be as specific as possible when telling the AI what your topic is about. You can supplement the AI by providing extra content or bullet points when it's generating text. You can rerun a particular query and get a different set of results each time it's run, and this is really helpful if you end up with a short summary version of a lesson plan or a tutorial and you need a more detailed version. Simply click on the Generate button again. So now you need to jump into the system and have a play. Try entering your topic of choice and try seeing what happens when you drill down and become more specific. You'll find that it will make a huge difference. And also remember that you can click that Generate button again and see what kind of output you can get when the AI reconsiders the same topic multiple times.